It's your girl Garden Goddess coming to you guys today talking about tomatoes. Tomatoes. Excuse me, guys, my lashes. It is hot, it is sweat everywhere. Okay, so starting off with tomatoes, you gotta find out what zone you're in. You gotta find out whether if you want transplants or seeds. Um, Everybody does ask me what did I do with my tomatoes. My tomatoes are big thrivers, big livers. And here are my babies. And it is 4 of them, and I have a bit of a overcrowding issue, but it is okay because I'm out here making sure that whatever that they need, they're getting. All right. So far as finding out if you want to do a transplant or a seed straight from the ground. Once you decide that, you have just decide what kind of soil is best for your region. Not what is best for the tomato, you have to also look up what is best for both. So you kind of need the best of both worlds going on. You gotta plant them bad boys about 36 inches apart. If you don't, you're gonna have an overcrowding issue and it's gonna get tomatoey real fast. I'd say if you're gonna do seeds, plant them bad boys at about pinky depth or a little bit deeper, depending on how you're leveling. If your community is based on the slope like mine is, all of my things run down like this. So building a trench, I had to add so much more dirt inside of it. What else? Okay, soil. Organic soil, or the most potent soil, I shall say. pH, check that bad boy. You get that at Walmart. Ask the people who you're getting it from. Just ask about whatever you're planning. Just tell them specifically what you want to do, because if you don't tell them that you want organic, they'll just give you something and ain't no telling what you're growing and what it's tasting like. All right, so specifically for tomatoes, I use a organic soil. That I bought from a farmer. I got Miracle-Gro vegetable and high performance in the black bag. I also use sand and just the regular agricultural dirt that was already here. So I kind of took it all and I mixed it all together. And before you plant, make sure that you use nitrates. And nitrates is basically it's basically going to help the plants grow. It's to give it extra oxygen to breathe properly and help it grow. You can get that at Amazon. What else? Watering. Because I live in Texas, I have to water, or I recommend watering every day, every night. Because y'all are staring at my cucumbers. Every day, every night is when I water. And I recommend every day, every night watering is because plants do their most eating or consuming water or nutrients that you put in the soil throughout the night, because it's the most calmest part of the day. What else? Along with the nitrates, you only need maybe about a pinch of nitrates per seedling. So I'd say maybe about a little bit under 1/4 of a cup. I know I did say pinch, but I'd say about 1/4 of a cup per tomato plant. After planting, I did use liquid seaweed, and I use Dr. Earth. I use Dr. Earth for pesticides and disease control. I use Dr. Earth's fertilizer. 1 second, let me grab it. Alrighty, I am back. Okay, this is what I use to basically it's an all-purpose plant food. It is by Dr. Earth. Now, I'm gonna say this for us here in Texas. I noticed that a lot of our plants aren't making it in a lot of our communities, and this is what I want to say. Add 1 pump of this every 3 gallons, and you'll see the difference in the survival of the plants. And I would recommend a little less pruning if you're having a burning issue or issues with the temperature. This is the other thing that I use for both my lawn and my garden. And it has rosemary oil, clove oil, peppermint oil, and that's about it. A couple other ingredients. Okay. And between these two and the nitrates, it keeps it pretty open, pretty healthy. I don't really have any bug issues up until my tomatoes are turning red. And what I've been using and doing for that is using neem oil. You take the neem oil and you mix it with a teaspoon of neem oil, fill up the bottle with water and dishwashing liquid. A teaspoon of dishwashing liquid. It helps, it works, and it's a low pesticide place in here. Okay, what else? Yeah, so after your stages of planting, you might want to get a hold to use some liquid seaweed, or this if you can't get a hold to liquid seaweed, because this is just as good. After you plant everything, make sure you water thoroughly, and make sure if you fertilize before you water, so that way it can get a good clean rinse. Alright, I did mention the pesticides, or if y'all are so much into other pesticides, I don't mention other pesticides because this is a organic garden. So I do not mention any pesticides. If I'm having a pesticide problem, I deal with it by hand, or if neem oil don't kill it or natural oil don't kill it, I ain't eating it. So make sure when you're doing a above ground garden that if you're going to do that, make sure you have proper drainage. And what I mean by proper drainage, just put a few holes. And even with your above ground gardens, you can put a layer of rock sediment before you put in your dirt. So that way it helps with proper drainage, and that the plants can have a chance to have thriving roots from top to bottom. What else? What else for you beautiful kings and queens? I guess that's about it. And if you guys have any questions, you can comment below, and I'll be happy to put out follow-up videos. And you guys have a beautiful day.